Welcome to REMelations. We're your hosts. I'm Mindy.
And I'm Brooke.
REMelations is a dream interpretation podcast where we read listeners' dreams. From nightmares to the just plain bizarre, join us as we give you our comedic interpretation of your fucked up REM cycle. This week I'm starting with a dream from TS that has to do with picking up restaurant staff for first dates, free beer, and platters of shrimp.
Ooh.
Endless platters of shrimp.
Yummy.
It's gonna be a good date.
That is a good one. And we also have catnaps about, we've got a range this week. We got scary basements, meteor devastation, and of course, eating fried chicken during surgery. Sounds fantastic.
Finger licking good.
And then I'm going to be talking about a very interesting sleep study about the Indigenous people of Australia. Okay.
All right, Bestie. Be sure to lick those finger licking good fried chicken fingers. And let's get started.
Woo!
Still feeling anxious though. I don't know what it is.
Do you have another gummy?
No, but like in your can't catch a breath kind of right here, just like sit. I don't know why.
You know what's funny? Well, it's not funny, but I wake up every morning with that feeling.
Yeah.
That's the
Mark
first,
has it a lot. Yeah.
That's the first thing I wake up with is like automatically I'm like,
yeah.
And everything floods in.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks. I'm sorry.
I know.
I hope it goes away.
I don't get this way very often, and it'll like come in waves, but it'll be like 6 months or
can dissipate
yeah
as the day goes on, but I always wake up with it.
I don't know.
I mean, unless I don't have to do anything for the day.
Mine came on like last night, like before we were gonna record. It came on like today driving. Like it'll go away when I like wake up. It'll be gone in the morning though. Mine's like
it's opposite. You have the opposite.
day. Okay. All right, Brooke. We have to record fast today.
Okay. Why?
Because it's 95 degrees out, and I turned off the air conditioning to record this podcast.
Mindy, we're going to have a 20-minute podcast this week, and
you know that's impossible for us.
We can't even get through just our introduction with each other when we log in 20 minutes.
I know, right? That's true. That's true. But we're gonna try to make it fast so people upstairs don't melt.
It's like also, I don't know what it is there. I'm sure it's similar, like heat index of like 115 with the humidity and everything.
So like a record high at O'Hare today. So
so let's
feel it
get
real quick.
Started.
Let's just jump in with our sweaty selves to a dream.
I smell better than I've ever smelled ever.
Well, let's begin with a dream. And this dream came in with just initials, TS, and TS is from Akron, Ohio.
All right, TS.
I'm just jumping into it.
Please do.
I walk into a restaurant with my family. My mom and my two 19-year-old sisters are there. It's a bit like a sports bar, and we seem to be the only customers, so we sit down.
Private event.
Right. When you walk into an empty restaurant, either it's a good sign.
It's usually a real bad sign.
No. It's usually, why is it 7 o'clock on a Saturday and no one's eating here?
Has everyone died of food poisoning here?
Very soon, a really attractive tomboy waitress, I'll call her TW from here on out, with short hair comes swaggering up. But instead of giving her my order, I decide to turn my flirt game on.
You get it, TS. Ooh.
Flirt game. I love it. It gets to the point where I offer to buy her lunch. I know. And she accepts.
What do you mean, I know? I think that's lovely.
But maybe because she works there and she's probably like, I eat here free all the time.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's like
sure.
when you ask someone out for a drink, but it's at the bar they work at.
It doesn't count. We leave the table, I guess, for their date. They leave as we leave the table, I put my arm around her shoulder while looking back, only to see my mom looking at me, appalled.
Oh.
In real life, I'm engaged, and my family doesn't know I'm polyamorous. We have a twist in this story. I turn back to TW, my arm still around her shoulder, and I ask what she'd like for lunch. She replies, here we go, Here we go. I forgot about this. She replies she wants a hot dog.
Oh, no.
The dinner? Go ahead.
Do we know if TS is male or female or are they?
Nope.
Okay.
Don't know.
Get it.
I don't know.
Right.
We don't know genders of anyone involved besides mom and two sisters.
Yeah, I was going to say what TS is saying. I put my hand around her shoulders. So we
Okay.
know TW is a female. Okay.
Yes, correct.
Just getting the picture in my head,
Yep.
as I have to do.
Sure. She
Okay.
wants a hot dog, the dinner shrimp platter, and the lunch shrimp platter. I chuckle a bit at her appetite as we step up to the bar.
That's going to be an expensive dinner. Lots of shrimp.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully she gets that employee discount.
Maybe it's like her, what is it called when you get a shift meal?
We called it green tickets when I worked at Cheesecake Factory. You got it, it was shift meal, yeah, but it was a green ticket.
Maybe she's like, I think we're maybe going 50-50 on this, so I'm going to use my shift meal. And I'm getting all the shrimp I can goddamn eat.
It's goddamn endless shrimp here. At the bar, there is one bartender, a young, feminine woman, with an air of confidence that can only come from someone who's just successfully picked a girl up. I give TW's order. Something in the bartender's eye made me question the price.
Oh, no.
Which turned out to be about $80.
Yikes. That's expensive shrimp. And what did TS order? Did it say what TS ordered?
No. Maybe he was just going to eat the leftovers?
Maybe TS was just going to hope for, like, the shrimp tails?
I had no intention of dropping that much money to buy her lunch on a cute girl I just met. I turned to TW and said, "Hey, are you trying to give me a run for my money?" "What? No," she replied, assuring me this was not her intention.
What was her intention? I would like
She was just hungry.
But I don't understand if it's lunch, how she can get the dinner shrimp.
Right. It's usually you can't get the lunch special after dinner, but usually you can get the dinner
she's getting
section.
The lunch
both
and dinner.
How many shrimp does that come with?
I'm curious too, actually.
I hope it's at least 80 shrimp.
Why not
$1 a piece?
Double the lunch order, which is probably cheaper than ordering the lunch and the dinner.
You have good questions.
Sorry, my brain is all about the shrimp right now. Shrimp brain.
She said, "What? No," she replied, assuring me this was not her intention. The bartender made a suggestion, which ended up lowering the price. Somehow, we ended up getting a free beer out of the deal.
Hey,
you buy 2 shrimp platters, you get a free beer.
You buy $80 worth of shrimp, you get a beer.
So sitting at the bar stools quite close to one another, we sipped our beer and looked at each other. I couldn't take it anymore. She was so damn hot.
Ooh.
I put one hand on her cheek, pulled her close, and I leaned in to kiss her.
Oh.
We shared 2 kisses before she thrust her tongue into my mouth.
What?
Effectively escalating the situation.
I would say so.
Where's Mom? Is Mom also eating a shrimp platter and not paying attention? Or
they look out the window and Mom's just standing on the street shaking her head in just disapproval. Sitting like that for what felt like ages, my other hand on the back of her head gently pulling her hair, us moving closer, when all of a sudden, something compels me to look up at my family's table. Oh, no. Well, you are making out in Publix.
Right, a little PDA. Shrimp, is an aphrodisiac.
Oh, is it? Sorry, I thought
don't
it was
know.
Oysters.
I'm just making it up. I don't eat shrimp. My mom is looking this way, waving her hand, trying to get someone's attention. Mine or the bartender's, I'm not sure. I break away from the kiss, trying to figure out what my mom is doing, when I come to the realization that my hearing is completely gone.
What?
I turn back to TW and she tries talking to me, but I can't hear her.
Oh, no.
I'm trying to gesture and point to my ear to explain what's going on. It was at this point my alarm went off, which woke me out of the dream.
OMG. I loved that dream.
I like this dream too. A lot of elements in here.
I just
make out sessions.
Yeah,
shrimp.
It was a sexy dream, but it was a fun dream. Like that excitement of your kind of first date, first kiss.
That first intimacy. Yeah, that's hot.
It was hot,
just like this basement's getting.
Oh, Okay, let's move faster.
I'm just
All right,
kidding, I'm just
Mindy,
kidding.
before we jump into the
No,
analysis
we're
of
good,
this
we're good.
dream,
There's ice cubes up there. They're fine. They're fine.
poor Mindy doesn't have AC in her car, and she has it turned off in her house, and she still looks this pretty. It's amazing.
Aw, you're the best.
Mwah. Okay, Mindy, before we actually really do dive into that analysis,
Yes.
Bestie, we know you're awesome. You're already listening. So there are so many other ways you can support the show. You can go to REMelations.com/support. You can submit your dreams. You can tell people to submit their dreams. You can buy some awesome merch. Anything you do just helps us keep going, and we appreciate you so much.
All right, let's jump into TS's dream. We begin with a restaurant. We've talked about restaurants before. It can be a symbol or a desire for nourishment, either physically or emotionally. But they also mention a sports bar. It looks like a sports bar, and that's a little bit different. It can be a desire for a social situation. It can be an escapism that's needed in their life. But I feel TS is on the search for a positive social experience.
Mindy, I've even been to a sports bar, and you know I know nothing about sports.
You're like, is there shrimp?
But I'm like, is there the lunch special that you can order at the same time as the dinner?
Can I just get both?
One of each, please.
Please. And a hot dog.
And close the tab. And the hot dog.
No, don't forget the hot dog. Very important.
And the hot dog, and then close my tab, please.
Food often represents the need for self-care, fulfilling yourself.
Absolutely.
But specifically, lunch specifically can mean taking a break from going-ons in life. Because lunch is in the middle of the day, and often we're working or we're studying. And lunch is that reprieve from everyday behaviors.
Yes.
TW is described, it starts at TW as a server. Comes over to take the order, and TS
jumps right on it.
TW gets swept off her feet. What qualities does TS see in TW? Is it qualities of escapism, again, that she just left her post at her job and decided to take her lunch break?
It's kind
with
of
a stranger.
exciting, right?
It is exciting.
Yeah.
Kind of take that go with the flow behavior, that go with the flow attitude.
Which Mindy and I aren't good at.
That being Virgos. And she went out and she got what she wanted. And she literally got what she wanted when she placed her order.
Like,
she got
got
the
it
hot
all.
dog and the shrimp platters.
I'm wondering if she ate it all or if she took a doggy bag home. Wouldn't that be the ultimate first date where you ordered like 7 things off the menu? You're like, this is my lunch for the whole week.
And then never return the call or text back.
It'd be
Just
like a
ghost 'em.
one-time thing.
I'm sure it's happened. TS talks about how expensive this was. And it wasn't immediately said, but there was kind of a look that the bartender gave them that was, this is kind of pricey. You sure you want to splurge on TW on this first date?
It's like the bartender also knew this was like a first date, like warning.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, are you sure you guys want to go get tattoos right now? Are you sure you want to order 2 shrimp platters?
I mean, you did only share 1 beer, it sounds like. So I don't know if we're ready for the tattoos quite yet, but give us enough time.
Seems like they were jumping right into this.
Yes. And maybe that's what TS is looking for in life right now. Maybe they want that excitement. They are feeling a little bananas. They want that lunch break, so to say, from their regular everyday life. Now, the bartender specifically said the cost was going to be $80. And, I'm going to jump into
I
a little
was
bit of
waiting
numbers
for
here.
the number breakdown.
80 is an extroverted number, they say, and it's a very feminine number.
Okay. So kind of like me, huh?
Yeah. Extroverted and feminine. Yes. And you also remind me of karma sometimes, which it could also mean.
Okay, yes.
It's about balance and power. So, like karma is, every reaction has a reaction.
Right.
Is TS trying to be all things to all people?
It sure sounds like it. Very much a people pleaser.
And then we get the free beer, which I'm very excited about.
It's almost like a free t-shirt. If you
anything free.
Eat so many wings,
shrimp.
If you eat so many shrimp, you're going to get your t-shirt or your free beer or your picture on the wall.
All three I'm hoping. I'm really pulling for them.
No one can eat that much shrimp.
anything that comes up as a free item in your dream can mean high value for little cost or effort. Is there something in TS's life where they're getting a lot of value for something, but not putting a lot of effort into getting it?
Which is the best possible way to go about life, but it's not realistic.
Could be or not. But if you're talking about a relationship and if it's a one-sided thing, and I'm not saying that TS is in a relationship where this is happening, but someone could be pouring so much of their stuff into you and you're getting the benefit of it.
Yeah,
it's
it
kind of
should be 50-50.
And that's to me is that where the karma comes in. Then we have Mom. Mom's such a fucking mood ball buster.
She's a killer.
I don't like it.
Just standing there, sitting there, waiting to make things awkward and be like, I don't like it.
No. And in real life, TS does mention that their family doesn't know they're polyamorous.
Mm-hmm.
So there is some sort of communication issue in his family where they don't feel in the space to be able to express their wants and desires and needs as a person in a relationship.
And being polyamorous, although like you and I might find that kind of completely normal in these days, but there are other generations that aren't quite there yet. So it could also be a stress of just holding that in and not being able to be who you are inside.
That's interesting because that made me think of something, and that was the idea of being polyamorous, the options, right?
Yes.
And we do have options with the food here. So let's talk a little bit about the food. We have a hot dog. We have shrimp, lunch and dinner. There's options. Right. Just like a polyamorous relationship.
Are there different sides on the lunch platter as opposed to the dinner shrimp platter?
A smaller portion of fries, perhaps? I don't know.
Do you get coleslaw with one and fries with the other?
So many questions.
So many questions. Those goddamn shrimp. Can you tell I'm hungry?
Can I tell you what shrimp mean in a dream, Brooke?
I would love to know because I have no clue where this is going.
Shrimp often symbolizes positive feelings.
Oh, good.
Almost like feelings that something is too easy.
Well, that's kind of a common thread, isn't it? Like TS seems
getting
to be
the free beer,
working smarter, not harder type of mentality, which is great, but like seems kind of like maybe everything has come easily to them and maybe they need to show a little more effort moving forward. It's just something they're not used to in their life because it does happen. Some people have a lot of things. It just happens for them.
The other side of the coin, it can also mean feelings of inadequacy, of low self-esteem, or to come out of hiding. Little shrimp, So the hot dog, our other favorite lunchtime snack or anytime snack, is
was
actually
it a Chicago dog. Where was TS from? I forget.
Ohio.
Oh man, what kind of dog is there in Ohio?
I don't know. Gonna have to ask our Ohio besties. Let us know. What's your favorite way to have a dog? Do you put mustard on it and ketchup?
No.
Brooke, did I ever tell you I do eat ketchup on my hot dogs?
I eat ketchup on my hot dogs too. It's no secret.
We're both of REMelations.
That no one that hasn't been in Chicago understands why that's one of our confessions. Blasphemy.
Well, I mean, Chicago dogs, and we've talked about Chicago style. We've talked about hot dogs actually a lot on this podcast. Why? I don't know.
There are a lot of cities that have a New York dog or a Philly dog that you just. I heard of an Albuquerque dog that you don't even necessarily realize there are locations across this United States that have like a signature dog.
Yeah. In Chicago, they put tomatoes on it. So you can't put ketchup on it because there's tomatoes on it.
Is the ketchup.
I get it. But I love a good ketchup on the dog.
I love ketchup on lots of stuff. Sorry. Okay.
So the hot dog is actually a phallic symbol in dreams, meaning sexual energy.
You don't say.
Is the hot dog representing TS's sex drive? Is it matching TW's? Is the relationship that they're in matching the sexual energy? Do they feel it right now in their relationships?
Shrimp is sexy. Hot dogs are sexy.
Hot dogs can also mean it's like a temporary feeling. Every time I've had a hot dog, I'm like, oh, I'd love a hot dog right now. Then I have it, I'm like,
I got gut
rot. It was a hot dog. The anticipation of a hot dog is always so much greater than the actual joy of after
if you're
eating
really hungry. Like if you're really hungry, sometimes a hot dog just seems like that is everything I need right now.
It's a relief right now, but it might not last, and the craving might fade.
Yeah, absolutely.
To finish off, I'm going to bring it back to the communication thing a bit.
Okay.
Mom, who broke the, kind of ruins this whole dream. Sorry, you do.
Fuddy-duddy.
Sorry, not sorry. TS loses hearing in the dream. Are they ignoring a problem? We know they're not communicating with family or feeling a safe place to communicate with family, their orientation or how they choose to live their relationships. Is it a sense of denial and an avoidance? Is it not finding the right words and not hearing?
I agree. I feel like TS is taking a step back, like in the wrong direction. I'm getting more and more intimidated by maybe showing my polyamory to my parents, and that's scary. So I'm just going to kind of take a step or two back, and totally normal, but get it, TS, power through.
Is TS literally putting their fingers in their ears and being, is it like, I want to drown out what everyone's saying about my life?
Oh, that's smart too. Yeah.
So that can take it on a positive spin. Maybe that's what you have
positive.
to do to move on from this dream is
sure.
Turn off everything else. You'd worry about you. You do you. Love who you want to love. And don't care what other people think.
See,
you don't
Mindy
have to explain yourself to
I
anyone.
go negative. I'm like, TS is hiding. And Mindy's like, no, TS is trying to just survive by putting out all
Could be
the negative communication. Either I think it's
that's
funny.
the thing I love about this podcast is we have different interpretations of things sometimes, and the only one who can truly interpret their own dreams is the dreamer themselves.
That's very
so.
true.
TS, let us know how it turned out. Let us know if you ever met this mystery server, bartender, sports bar, short-haired hot chick. We want to know.
And did she shove her tongue down your throat? Wow.
Did it taste like shrimp?
And in public? And did it
Wow.
taste like hot dog and shrimp? What about a shrimp hot dog, Mindy? This would be like a New England thing, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, shrimp dog?
Where's shrimp in the U.S.?
Gulf?
The Gulf Coast. This is like going to be an Alabama special. This is called the
Shrimp
Alabama
dogs.
special. It's a shrimp dog. It's got the
Got it.
dog
Let's
and
let
the
us know.
shrimp.
And then instead of ketchup, you use cocktail sauce, which is based in ketchup.
And then
We
you
got it.
also put some tartar sauce, which would replace
I'm
the
out.
relish. I know you're gagging right now. You're like, this sounds
I
terrible.
eat shrimp if they're fried. That's the only way I really like it.
Well,
Anything fried.
you know. Alabama, tell us what you think. The whole
Alabama
state.
besties, please.
The whole state. Please tell us what you think. Thank you, Mindy.
I'm not
That was-
answering all that mail.
No. That was a really fun dream, Mindy. Thank you for sharing.
Okay, so you ready for your question?
Yes.
Or question of the day. Okay. I have a special guest to ask this week's question of the week. Come on in.
Who
This
is
is
it?
my youngest who's going to read this week's. I don't know what it is.
Pumpkin. Hi.
And you don't know what it is, so she got to pick out whatever she wanted. So I'm going to let
so
her.
excited to see her. Hi, gorgeous. How are you?
No, Brooke, I can't hear
good.
you, remember. So.
Okay, I know. You're like a supermodel. You're so pretty. How's school going?
Oh, it's going good.
Yay. Okay. Hit me, baby. Hit me. Mhm.
Oh, yeah, that's what she just said.
I just know that.
Mindy's like,
Okay.
speed it along. We have the air off. So I'm like, okay. All right. Speed it along. All right. Let's
Okay.
hear, hon.
Would you rather never be able to leave your house or to be forever homeless?
Oh, my God. I have an answer.
Okay, what's your answer?
I would rather, and Mindy's probably dying because she can't hear me, but she's like looking anxiously. I would rather, she can hear it first. Let's have Sophia hear it first and
She
see
said,
what
"Let
she...
me hear it first."
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait.
Okay, here, we have to.
Mom, stop being so uncool.
Mom, stop being a mom. Here.
Okay, are you ready?
We're ready.
I'm going to choose never being able to leave my house.
Why?
Like 100%. I'd rather have windows I could look out of and comfort inside than never having that unpredictability of knowing what's going to happen if I were homeless. You know, like,
Yeah, that's
where am I
true.
going to sleep? Where am I going to eat? Where am I going to bathe? Like,
Ew.
Mom, what do you say?
that's a tough one, though. That's a good one. Thank you for picking it.
I
Thank
say
you.
I have to go the same. I'm sorry, I have to leave it in here, but I'm gonna have to say the same because I agree. I would not want to have to
That
worry about
uncertainty
that
is
every
killer.
day.
Yeah.
You can have people come visit you and bring you stuff. And
Yeah,
what about you, youngest child?
Let's
I
hear
agree.
it.
I would say stay in my house. Although you couldn't like travel. I mean,
Oh,
if you're
know.
homeless, you don't really have the money for that. But
That's
That's
right,
true.
too.
you know, you could
Oh,
walk
she's got your
somewhere.
same brain, Mindy.
I
Mindy
know.
always tries to give me like workarounds with
twisty
these
Mindy
questions.
brain.
She's like,
Twisty Mindy.
but if we did this, I would do this. I'm like, no. That's not the point of this segment. Just yes or no. Thank you so much, honey bunny. I love you. That was a good
Love
question.
Thank you.
All right. But do you want to do one more for our sleepover squad?
Yes.
Okay.
Another like full question.
Yep. Bestie, if you're not part of our sleepover squad, you can join it by going to REMelations.com/support and hear one more this week.
That was a good one, honey. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Bye.
Mwah, love you. I know
Love
your
ya.
nails look fabulous. Yes,
Thank you.
love them. I love that.
Yeah, we were driving home from school today, and I was telling her how we incorporated this into the podcast. So she started asking, like, what questions have you already answered? And so I went through a few of them, and then we were cracking up with the
It's like
the
the
different
would you
ones.
rathers really work best for this segment. Like a
Yeah.
would you rather. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Love it. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for a little cameo for my little sweet darling baby girl who's not
Ugh.
so little anymore. She's 15, but
stop. Don't stop. I can't take it. She's my little
Bestie.
pumpkin. I've always said it. Okay, go ahead.
Bestie, if you want to join in the conversation and answer her question of the week, you can head to Facebook and look for REMelations Besties and join our fan group. We post our questions each week so you can join in the conversation. We're dying to know what you think.
Yay.
And I'll pass it along.
Love it.
Brooke, that brings us to Catnaps, the section of the show where we read a bunch of listeners' dreams. They can be short dreams, long dreams, quick dreams. We don't do any analysis on them. We just have a fun time reading
I love
through
it.
all of your crazy REM cycles. You
Can I
ready
tell
to
you
get
a
started?
secret? Yes, I'm ready. And I'll tell you a quick secret. I know we're moving along.
Please. No,
But
I love secrets.
You know
I
I'm
keep
not
them
a
really
good
good.
napper. I love napping, but
Yes.
it takes me so long to fall asleep
Mhm.
that I can never get like a good nap.
Yes.
Mindy, I was so tired when I got home today. That's why, like, when I texted you, is this time still okay? Because I had dozed off, and I
Oh.
never doze off like
You're out. huh?
naturally. And I like
Mhm.
shot
Wow.
straight up, and I was like, "What the hell?" I was like legitimately tired.
Nice. You needed it.
But
Your
it's
body's
also
like time to
a
rest.
million degrees, and my brain is not letting me have reprieve from that. But yes, to your question, I would love to get started today. This is Beth, and she's from Des Moines. Holla, Iowa,
Hey, Beth.
Iowa home state. Well, when I was younger, I used to be scared of my basement, especially at night, because it's
Mhm.
always dark down there. We all were, Beth.
Yes.
We
I don't
can,
know.
there to this day. We talked about this last week, I feel like. Like, yes, the dark is scary. The basement is scary.
Were you ever in my parents' basement? Because that was like
Was
part
it
of it's like
not
dirt
finished,
floors.
right? Wasn't it
No.
like, yeah,
It's it was like dirt floor. It's like an old farmhouse basement. It was like a cellar. Nasty. It had a random toilet in the middle of it. Like a stall. Like it wasn't usable, but it was
would have
why
come
is it
in
down there?
handy with 4 girls.
That's true. Dad should have finished that up.
Yeah. But
I'm not
no,
getting
you're
right
right. Like, I'm surprised we didn't spend more time in your basement, because I feel like we would have thought it was on the
Extra
creepier
spooky.
side.
Yeah.
Or,
I think I was just
like,
too fair. I was too scared of it, honestly.
It was very
I
scary.
did not go down there.
Sorry, Beth. We're continuing on.
We agree. We concur.
We concur. We're on your side. And in the back, I think that I saw a ghost, but maybe it was my imagination. The only reason I was scared was because a spider had dropped on my back while I was down there
Oh
once.
no.
You know what? And that's all she shares for her dream.
No.
Again, this is what catnaps are all about, but like, I totally get it. Like, you're scared in general, right? Like, and then if any
Yes.
little thing happens, like a spider hitting you
Nope.
or a string running
Or a
against
ghost.
your face, a ghost,
A
it's
toilet
gonna-
flushes out of
it's gonna set you off, and you're gonna be just done with that situation. So
Yes. You're already on a
Beth-
heightened sensory.
we've
level.
been there.
Yeah.
We get it. Thank you so much for sharing.
All right. Next, we have Ben, and he's from Toronto, one of our Canadian besties.
I love Canada.
Anything particular about it, or just in general?
Everything. It's clean. People are more polite.
They have maple syrup.
There's
so good.
maple syrup. I just think it's a beautiful country that most people kind of just like.
It's there.
It's there, but I think it really is a very, very beautiful place.
Well, when we decide to do our world tour, we'll make sure to add Canada to the list just for you, Brooke.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. And tell us where you want us to come, Canada. Which
All
location?
Right. Ben says, I had a very vivid nightmare last night. It was my normal life with my wife and 2 kids, but we had 72 hours until an extinction level meteor would impact the planet.
Ooh.
It wasn't scary at all. It was just sad. When we went to the store, no one was paying for anything, but it was very orderly, and so, which I don't see happening.
I'm like
Armageddon.
I see the non-paying for stuff very realistic.
Yeah.
The orderly part,
Not so much. And everyone was helping each other out. I remember, I know, so nice. I mean, he is Canadian, so it does make sense.
He is
That's
Canadian,
what they do in
so
Canada when the
that
world ends.
tracks.
That does track. People in Toronto are like, oh, no, you go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Oh, no, I insist. I remember wanting to grab a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue Label so I could...
You should have.
I know. So I could see what an expensive scotch tastes like. Obviously, to take the edge off at the situation. And a taller gentleman helped me reach it.
Oh.
The kids got everything they wanted, and we went home. It was
without
obvious
paying, right?
Well, let's not specify that. I mean, they're so nice, they probably would pay. Throw a couple
But
Canadian
Johnny
dollars.
Walker, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter if your account's negative if it's
Right.
Armageddon, right?
Where's the credit cards? Just run them up.
Let's get some jet skis in this bitch. Let's start going.
Jet skiing and Johnny Walker Blue, they go hand in hand.
Sounds like a good combo. A good, safe combination.
It's like hot dogs and shrimp. Goes right together.
Hot dogs and shrimp. You know that old saying. It's like hot dogs and shrimp.
Peas and carrots. Oh, no. That's
That's
old.
passe. It's hot
Yeah,
dogs and shrimp.
Let's see. My kids got everything they wanted and we went home. It was obvious that the rule of law had fallen apart, but because of that, everyone was behaving even better than they would ordinarily in the case. There was no chaos. Chaos.
Chaos?
I don't know why
Is that like Tejas? Is that the Texas way?
Chaos and Tejas.
Chaos and Tejas. That would be a good concert series.
Oh.
Come to Chaos and Tejas.
It would
be a good rock concert festival.
Nice. You know, TM.
Hashtag TM.
Let's say that again. There was no chaos, just helping. The thing that is still bothering me is how my family and I were handling it. We all focused on trying to have as much fun as we could and do the things that we wanted to do more than anything in the world, but it was hard. My wife and I couldn't get past thinking about how sad it was going to be that we weren't going to be able to see our kids grow up.
Oh.
And more importantly, that they were going to miss out on the joys of being alive.
Take him to water park. Take him to a roller coaster. Take him sledding. Do something fun.
We also had an overwhelming sense of gratitude to be alive and to have each other and our children. It was a very strange mixture of being grateful for the journey we've had so far, but sad the journey was ending so soon.
That's normal.
There was also a strange sense of happiness, that if it was going to end this way, at least we were going to be together when it happens.
Oh, what a positive outlook.
I didn't stay asleep long enough to get to the end. When I woke up briefly and I fell back asleep, I went into the dream again, and there were 24 hours left.
Oh, no.
Interesting.
Oh, it just jumped a little bit, huh?
A
Now
whole day.
it's serious.
Now there's chaos. Now they're
now
like,
there's
they're not
we're
helping
down
each
to
other.
24 hours. Woo!
I'm glad I woke up before I could go any further because at the 24-hour mark, I was beginning to feel the desperation and the panic of the situation sinking in. This one's going to stick with me for a while, Ben.
That's tough. That's a tough one.
Yeah, and it's not what you expect. I mean, you're
No.
grateful, which if it's out of your control, it's out of your control. But
Right.
I don't see the world being so orderly
No,
we know what
there's no
Armageddon's
It's
coming.
not orderly without Armageddon. Could you
True.
imagine if Armageddon was happening? The world would probably kill itself before the world could kill it. We would probably just implode with irrational fear. Well, not irrational actions and thoughts. So it's like, yes, I think we would destroy it before the planet destroyed us.
Could be. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, Ben. Okay. This is a shorty, but a sweetie.
Like you? That's how I introduce you all the time to my friends. I'm like, she's a shorty, but she's a sweetie.
Oh, that is me, shorty and sweetie. I need a t-shirt. Remind me to get one.
Yeah, I will see what I can do.
This is Justine, and she's from Gary, so she's not too far from you, Mindy.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a one-sentence one, so here we go. I dreamed I went through a brain operation to remove and in quotes, little man that got stuck in my frontal lobe.
Oh,
That goddamn little man in our frontal lobe.
man,
Son of a
I don't
bitch.
like that. Man, it's like living rent-free in your mind, literally.
Such a dick.
How'd he sneak in?
How'd he get in there? Yeah,
Couldn't be a
Justine.
victim.
And that's all that one is.
Good luck with the surgery.
Good
Let us know how it
luck.
turns
Get that little man, that little bastard, that little a-hole. Get him right out of there, Justine. Get him right out.
Next, we have Sebastian. He's from Laramie, Wyoming.
Okay.
So in this dream, I was a child again, probably young teens. I was going to a grocery store with different parents and different siblings than I had growing up in real life. I'm pretty sure I was adopted, and these parents were mean.
Ooh.
Don't like that.
This is making me sad now.
As they all went walking into the store, they told us kids to stay out front and to drill screws into our heads, and they handed me a grill. They handed me a drill.
I'm like, what are they going to do with that goddamn grill?
And that's the punchline. You know when they're like serving hot dogs out front the Hy-Vee? Kind of same idea. Handed me a drill.
Got it. Yikes.
Ugh, that's not
that
good
doesn't
parenting.
seem like it's going to help anything, but go ahead.
This made me insanely angry in a strange way. So I grabbed the biggest screws, 3-inch thick, and
What? 3? Do you
Sorry.
know how big a screw? That's like a tree trunk.
I said it wrong. I meant 3 inches and thick. I missed a word. I'm sorry. I spit on myself as I said that.
Okay, so it's 3 inches long.
3 inches long and thick.
Wait, both? Then that
3
is
inches.
the biggest screw in the world if it's 3 inches long and 3 inches thick. That's like this, Mindy.
That's too girthy. I just started screwing it straight into my skull, fully expecting to die. Oh, maybe he's trying to get the little man out. Maybe he had a little man.
Get that little man out of there.
I was surprised when the first screw went in all the way, and I was still alive. So I grabbed
3
another screw
inches.
and did it again, until I had 5 or 6 screws in my skull.
No.
Then I had a moment where I realized I didn't want to die, and then took all the screws back out.
Good for
You know,
you.
like on the drill, how you flip the little switch and it goes the opposite
flip the
way?
switch and it goes reverse. All it is like you just press that little button and it
In the
goes
middle,
one way
yeah.
or the other. You're like
that.
reverse.
It was a very vivid dream, and I could still recall feeling the sensation of screws coming out of my head.
That's terrible thought.
Anyways, I was feeling pretty defiant that I had done it and survived, but the parents hardly noticed. The end.
That's such a sad ending. I'm
That
sorry
is
that the
Definitely
parents
child abuse.
weren't even aware of the abuse.
The blood gushing from his face and the screw hole?
The
you
screw
have to-
that's the size of his forehead. And
Do
he
we
got
have
how
to
many?
anchor that screw?
How many did he get in there? 5 or 7?
Five or six.
His whole head must
like
have just
staple
been these
face.
giant bolts, like Frankenstein, only all over his head instead of just like at his temples.
Ouch.
That's
Oh,
terrible.
that's not a great dream. That's a little, that one's going to stick with you.
But thank you for sharing.
Always.
Okay, so this is Gina, and she just says she's from NH, which I imagine means New Hampshire.
Sure.
In my dream, my mom put all my really old sentimental treasures, like trophies, certificates, keepsakes, into a box to clean the space they took up in my room.
Okay.
But then she threw all the stuff away. And I got so upset that I cut my pinky finger off with scissors.
So
Okay,
violent.
let's calm down, Gina. Gina, calm down. We know it's very upsetting.
What is with people hurting themselves today? I'm not a fan.
I'm not.
We are
a
in a
fan
weird.
Of this
I don't
at
like
all.
this synchronicity
I don't
that
like
we
this
have going on today.
trajectory that we're
Nope.
on with self-harm. Not a fan. I get it. It hurts. Like you always want your. I've seen your basement, Mindy. I've seen your bins.
Mm-hmm. Very
You
organized.
even have a bin for me,
It's called the
Which is-
party bin.
which is actually completely true.
It's
with-
actually the REMelations box.
It's with all our notes from high school and everything. So I
Oh, that one, yes.
understand how it would hurt, but accidents happen. I don't know if it was an accident or not, but anyway, I didn't realize it was my own finger that got cut off till I walked and held up my hand and saw it bleeding and saw only the base part of the pinky remaining. I remember wondering how I would play piano with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's tricky.
Be tough.
I don't hate my mom in real life, and she would never do anything like this to me. I did, however, go through a sudden friendship fallout where one of the two friends who cut me off deleted my creative writing story on a private forum they hosted. Mystery
Oh,
solved,
yeah,
Gina.
nice
We
job.
got it. That's a
Yeah.
lot of stress with your friends going on.
Oh, yeah.
That's
hurts.
mean that
It hurts,
she
just like your
deleted your
pinky.
assignment. But yes, it happens. It happens, and it is tough.
All right. Well, moving on, I have Samantha from Los Angeles. She says, "Hello, everyone. I'm new here and I'm looking for some clarity. A couple of nights ago, I woke up from a dream I had and wrote it down because it seemed important.
Okay.
I was swimming underwater in my pool with my eyes open. The
Ouch. Is
Chlorine.
it chlorine? Or
Chlorine.
even if it's a saltwater
Salt.
pool. Ouch.
I used to do that as a kid. No way now. My contacts.
Oh, I
have flown away.
totally used to do all that, but no. Mm-mm.
Get some goggles. The water was clear and bright as I came to stairs, which were white. And remember, she's
Okay.
swimming. I noticed long, dark hair trailing in the water all over the stairs that quickly took the shape of two large pentagrams overlaying each other in such a way it made a 10-point star.
In hair. Right?
Yes.
All right, I just wanted to make sure I'm with you here.
Pentagram hair. Yep,
Okay,
you got
I
it.
just want to make
Yep.
sure I'm
You're
on
with
the
me.
same page
Yep.
here.
Where's the surface?
Get me out of here is what I say. Like,
Mhm.
there's no heads attached to the hair. This just.
I mean, I understand. Like, I've got a lot of girls in this house, and there's hair everywhere. But if I saw a pentagram made of hair, I'm out.
A double
A double
pentagram.
I saw a flash of light and the name Lilith clearly lit up in my mind. I was startled by this, and rather than surface, I heard myself say, "Nope, not happening." And I took a sharp turn underwater to try to avoid it.
My favorite response ever.
Nope, not dealing with a hair
Nope.
pentagram today.
Not doing it.
I have very limited experience with deity work, and I've never known or worked with a Lilith before, so I am puzzled as to why that name would show up. I'm not sure as if it was literally her, the demonic figure, or symbolic in nature, but I'm open to any interpretation. Thanks in advance, Samantha.
Samantha, I'm glad your instinct is to get away from the hair.
Yes.
That would be my
No
first
good can come
instinct
from
too.
that.
Nothing good's gonna happen. You're gonna get entangled in that shit.
You're
Stuff's
drowned.
gonna happen.
Sounds like a great start to a movie, though.
It does. It sounds like a great horror movie.
Mm.
So, please tell us if anyone reaches out to you and wants the right to your story.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us
And
know.
also, if a Lilith comes up in your future, let us know. I'd also like to see if you could rearrange those letters and then name Lilith and see if there's something else that would maybe trigger you.
What made you think that? I'm sorry. That's very interesting. What made you think to rearrange the letters?
It just came to my head. I don't know.
Then okay, Mindy, that's like an alarm bell for me when you say stuff like that.
Okay.
Because you are so intuitive and you are so sensitive that to say something like that because I was just thinking Lilith is a name like that I've heard in Supernatural, like the TV show, and played a big part as a major supernatural force. But for you to just think like, to feel that, I trust your instincts, and that's crazy.
But maybe it's just my dyslexic mind moving letters around. That's just how my brain works normally. So I'm wondering if it is something.
You're thinking about it for a reason, and especially recently, you've been very sensitive. I feel like
I have been extremely sensitive.
Yes, so I feel like there's maybe a little bit more that you are just. It's the tip of the iceberg.
Something.
Okay.
Let us know, Samantha. All right, this is kind of a non-traditional catnap. I know I've covered celebrity dreams in the past on a couple episodes, and I'm just going to throw this as in a catnap because it just came up as I was listening to the podcast Smartless, my faves, with our boys, Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and Sean Hayes.
I love those boys. They're some of my favorites.
But this is funny because on this week's episode, and I'm just going to read what Sean Hayes said. He says he had a dream.
Oh, okay.
I wish he would come on our podcast live and just share this. This would be
Mindy,
fantastic. Sean.
Speaking of which, let's ask him.
Oh, I know we're going to read his dream, but I want to know more dreams. So let's hashtag.
I know. From any of the three, but let's do Sean. Hashtag what does Sean Hayes dream?
And invite us on your podcast. Oh, you know how they invite celebrities on their show? Mm-hmm. After we win that podcast award, even if we don't,
we're gonna be swimming with celebrities.
They're gonna want us on the show. We're gonna have to check our calendar. We're gonna have to see if our schedule allows.
I'm
we'll
sorry,
have to get back to you.
That doesn't work for me. I'm already doing 7 other guest spots.
We're on Jimmy Fallon that night, so we're gonna have to.
Yes,
not look
we
at
are
this
doing the talk show circuit too.
So much, and writing our book. I don't know how we're gonna fit it all in, but.
Here's what
Sean, let us know what you dream. And this is one he did share. So let's get into it.
Let's hear it.
I was on the operating table and they took my heart out and I saw them taking it all out.
Oh.
It was some procedure or something. And I said, I don't want it. I need my heart to live.
Yes, that's accurate.
I can't live too long with all of my outsides of my body, right?
Yes.
Doctor said, no, you'll be fine. And then he started giving me fried chicken.
Why?
Swear to God.
Wait, why is he awake during this procedure?
And then he's like, the doctor says, do you want some of my lunch? And I said, okay, this is fried chicken. This is weird. And then he woke up.
You're not supposed to eat before surgery, Sean.
You're supposed to eat during surgery.
Yeah, during.
Fried chicken.
They're like, okay, you can't eat before, but we're going to knock you out, and then you're going to want to sit up and want fried
it is good. Don't get me wrong. But I wonder if it's like one of those high cholesterol angioplasties, and they're like, we're just setting you up for your next appointment.
They're like, we're going to cause your next heart attack. Yeah. We're going to give you fried chicken until you die.
Your follow-up will be in 6 months. Take 2 pieces of chicken daily.
Unless you die previously. Until then, take 2 pieces of chicken daily and a bucket.
And the dark meat.
I love dark meat. Are you a dark meat or a light meat?
I don't eat any
person?
kind of fried chicken. No, I'll take it all.
And
Sean, let us know what piece you're grabbing first. And also let us know what you drink. Hey, Bestie. We know you're enjoying the show, so we need you to do us one favor, and that's to tell your best friend about the podcast, tell a stranger about the podcast, or tell that kind of attractive girl you see at the restaurant if she'd like a hot dog and a platter of shrimp. 2 platters of shrimp, actually. Tell them about the podcast.
She might be expensive, but might be worth it.
Might be worth it. As you're sitting there enjoying the shrimp, you can talk about the podcast. It's great. We'll allow it. Bestie, that's how we grow. That's how we keep coming back to you each and every week and giving you our fun interpretation of dreams is by you sharing the show with somebody. Thanks.
All right, Mindy, since we're moving right along because it's 1,000 degrees out, I thought we could jump right into the topic of this week.
Please. I'm excited to see what you have for me.
And I'm just going to kind of jump into it. I don't really have a title, but I think you're going to figure it out pretty quickly. Okay, so there was a review that was undertaken to understand the state of sleep health for all Indigenous Australians.
Okay.
The necessity of undertaking this task lies in the significance and consequential impact of poor sleep on health and well-being.
Of course, yes.
Originally, it was just on youth Indigenous peoples, and then it eventually expanded to adults, but I'm going to kind of go in reverse order.
Interesting. All right.
So importantly is notice that treating sleep disorders can reverse health outcomes both in the short and long term. Therefore, given the significant historical and ongoing inequities experienced by Indigenous Australians across a range of health outcomes, understanding the state of their sleep offers opportunities to improve their overall health.
Okay.
I just found this interesting because it's like, you don't often think about Indigenous peoples, you know, like culturally they have such strong connections to their dreams and the dream world. And it just was fascinating to me that they were taking a scientific approach to actually seeing these people.
Mm-hmm.
So Indigenous Australians were more likely to report a higher prevalence of unhealthy sleep compared to non-Indigenous Australians.
Okay.
So working and conferring with Indigenous communities, which is the hardest part of it all. It's hard to get into those Indigenous communities, but it's likely to improve the future capacity for sleep medicine or to engage in partnerships to improve sleep health and therefore general health.
I mean, anyone. Yeah, if you're not sleeping great, it affects everything.
It affects everyone. We've gone over the effects of minimal sleep, but this is just regarding the specific population of people. And I find it interesting that they've kind of zoned in. And I think it's great because they don't necessarily have representation or people coming in to really analyze the difference between, you know, let's say a kid that just goes to school and comes home as opposed to, you know, as an Indigenous student that learns about all the cultural and the history and everything going on. And it's just a lot more to take on as a youth or an adult. You know, you have that responsibility on your shoulders.
Sure.
So there is a substantial health inequity that exists between First Nation Australians and non-Indigenous Australians. And it could be a cause to their sleep health. So there's an ongoing and even increasing need for social and emotional well-being, which is SEWB, social and emotional well-being.
SWEB.
So they need these services for these First Nation communities due to things such as COVID. And I don't know if you remember, like, before COVID hit, 2020, it was like we all thought the story of the year was going to be the Australian fires, you know?
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, that got swept under the rug.
It was like it didn't even happen. And could you imagine, like, feeling like this is something that destroyed my country and we're not even talking about it? Like, there's a lot
especially
there.
Indigenous nations.
Especially,
in Australia.
like, that's their land.
Yes.
That's their culture. That's their history. So I've always kind of had a feeling like I feel terrible that no one remembers those fires.
Yeah.
But it happened just before COVID.
Yep.
So like you said, it was basically
the worst timing.
Gone with the wind. A lot of Indigenous cultures, you know, dispossession from their land, sea, country, historical colonization.
Loss of culture.
Mindy, you're still on fire. The next thing I was going to say was interruption of culture and also intergenerational trauma, coupled
Sure.
with ongoing racism and disadvantage have significantly impacted the health and well-being of our First Nation populations. Okay, but so elders describe sleep as part of holistic physical, emotional, and spiritual health, which I think is
1000%
absolutely
agree.
correct. So good sleep was inextricably linked to good overall health, which is true in Western medicine as well. Embracing First Nations ways of knowing about sleep may bridge gaps in understanding and enhance efforts to address sleep health in these populations. And I'm sure this is the case with many Indigenous peoples across the world, but this is just an Australian study that has really
And I'm
been
sure
gung-ho about it.
I'm sure it varies probably as well
Of
from
course.
different types of Indigenous groups or
And
peoples.
levels of income, levels of just so many variables involved in this kind of study. So yes, I agree. So what I wanted to do was really kind of talk quickly about, because it started with teenagers, the study, which I think is fascinating because
Teenagers' sleep cycles are very unique.
Teenagers anywhere in the world,
Yes.
the sleep is going to be a mystery to us all.
Yeah.
So I find it interesting that they started with that and then kind of looped back and thought, hey, maybe everyone needs help with this.
Yeah.
There was a University of Queensland sleep study, and Mindy will post the links to this article in our show notes. But it was basically a program to extend research for teenagers. John Donovan struggled with his sleep for years, staying up until 3 a.m. on most nights and feeling very angry all the time and sometimes violent when he woke up. John, we're there with you. We've all felt this, but
Why do you think they say, did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed? All they should really say is, did you not sleep well last night?
You're like, correct. I did not.
Hashtag, why do we say that?
Oh, yeah, that's a good
I'm adding it
one.
to my list.
Okay, so I might pronounce some of this wrong, and I apologize, but the Calcadon Mount Isa teens, their work was affected, and this is John, he was getting into trouble with his teachers.
Okay.
So it could probably seem like a behavioral issue, but it really could be a sleep issue or the combination of both. He said overcrowding in an unclean, uncomfortable sleeping space combined with too much screen time made it hard to nod off. I'm sorry, this John Donovan, he's on top of it. He's way above his years and knowledge, I feel like. He says, I used to sleep in any room in the house because my room was the spare room. Which is kind of sad. You know, you need to have your sleep routines. Even though Minnie and I preach and preach and preach about sleep routines, I don't think either one of us has the greatest sleep routine.
Not the greatest, no.
But
damn you, TikTok.
Damn it. He says, I usually slept with my brothers, and when I did sleep in my room, it was usually uncomfortable because I didn't have sheets on the bed.
Oh.
I didn't have time to put them on, and I couldn't find them. He became one of several young people to take part in an Australian first Indigenous sleep trial.
Okay.
It was called the Let's Yarn About Sleep program.
Okay.
The LYAS.
Come on, you come up with something better than that.
Who
That's
comes
kinda
up with
lame.
yarn? I'm sorry, especially for
like
teenagers.
Spin a yarn.
Yeah, like I would imagine most teenagers don't even know
No.
that reference, but unfortunately, that's what it was called.
Okay.
The program was led by the University of Queensland, combined Western science with Aboriginal cultural teachings to improve sleep in young First Nations people. So its goal was to give kids the tools and knowledge about the spiritual, mental, and physical importance of sleep and encourage them to put it in practice, which, whether you're Aboriginal or not, I don't think is something that parents teach
Right.
kids in any culture, really. It's
Yeah.
just like, your bedtime is 8 and you go to bed
Yes.
and that's it. Like,
Yeah.
we don't focus as much as sleep health until we're adults. And then it's almost like,
It's too late. You know, you're set in
old
your
dog,
ways. Your
new
body already
trick, right?
knows.
Like,
Yeah.
old dog, we're stuck in our ways. Okay. John, who was 14, was among the first group of young people to graduate from the program.
Oh. Do you
And
get a
he
certificate? A
said,
yarn? Do you get a piece of yarn?
you get a whole roll of yarn.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
And they hand it to you, and you
Instead
you
of a
grab
diploma.
it, and then you move your tassel to the other side of
Which
your
is also
mortar
made of
board.
yarn.
It was also, everything's
Yeah.
made of yarn. The graduation
Right.
gown, the
Gorge.
mortar board, everything. He said it had a life-changing
Wow.
impact.
Excellent. Good. Good for him.
I sleep in a very comfortable situation now. I keep my room clean, and I make sure I have nice, clean sheets on my bed. I chuck my phone on the desk on the other side of the room.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Key.
He said he stopped getting into trouble at school. And he also said, I've started passing my grades at school and getting B's and A's, and it's pretty good.
Aw, that's a good story.
So it's
Good.
the importance of sleep health is
Yeah.
a real thing. Whether you're a child, a teen, an adult, it's important for everyone.
Yep.
So sleep is important for Aboriginal people because it's a time when they connect with their dreaming, with their ancestors. It's very important in their culture. And when we draw inspiration and creativity for the expression of our culture, this happens in dreams.
Mhm.
So just a hint to our bestie, I might be getting into this aspect in a later episode, more about the cultural dreaming and how that affects. But we're kind of in the scientific zone right now. So better sleep in the outback. About 120 young people in Mount Isa will graduate from the program, which will be used as the
Wow.
basis for a broader for the basis of a broader project, the Obstructive Sleep Apnea Program, which is OSA.
Okay.
And OSA recently received $4.06 million from the federal government's
Wow.
Medical Research Future Fund. Could you imagine having a future fund here in the U.S.? That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And it will be rolled out in remote Indigenous communities across the country. That's
120.
amazing.
But if you could change the sleep habits or make sleep better for 120 youth, that's
a
pretty
victory.
impactful just there. Yeah. Yeah.
Just on that own. Yep. So the University of Queensland Associate Professor Yakut Fatima, and I apologize if I said your name wrong, has been leading both programs and said her team has learned a lot from the Let's Yarn About Sleep trial. It's got a terrible name, but I really think it's doing good
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. We
gonna
still
say.
appreciate the work you do. Yes.
We still appreciate. So she says we had a lot of feedback from elders, which is, in the Aboriginal, well, in a lot of cultures, it's up
Yeah.
to the elders,
Sure.
So we had a lot of feedback from elders saying that adults needed help with sleep health just as much as young people did.
Mhm.
Correct. The new program will target both groups, so adults and kids, which
Mhm. Good. Yeah.
if you hit the kids first, they can develop great sleep health,
Right.
or they
For
at
later in
least
life.
are
Yeah.
aware of sleep health and its importance.
Yeah.
So she says we also learned the importance of training and investing in local people to deliver the program, because if we rely on like an external workforce who fly like in and out,
Yeah.
the program ends up lacking the context and fails to meet the specific needs of that local people.
Sure. Makes sense.
So there will be training a workforce of people to deliver the program. This is one of their major focuses in the study, and I think that it's amazing. And I'm excited to kind of stay on top of this, see how things differ. Like the children's program has been in effect longer than the adult, but it's all kind of been around the COVID time. So it's all still
Sure.
pretty new. And like I said, I want to get into, in a week or two, more about the cultural significance of sleep and dreaming in the Indigenous people of Australia. So
Wow.
I
Thank
hope you come back for more.
Love it. No, that's great. I mean, you hit the nail on the head when you say it's not just a problem with youth and teens and adults.
Mm-hmm.
But building that base that they can always come back to as an adult, I think is great.
Right.
I mean, I wish they taught it in health class in high schools here.
Everywhere.
It really should be.
Like, people think, oh, kids are kids, they sleep, or teenagers sleep until noon. Yeah, that's great. They need to for
They
their
really
body,
do.
but like, we also have to understand why and deal with that. Like, there's no sense in torturing these kids whose bodies are going through a natural state and being like, you need to wake up and do this and blah, blah, blah. It's like, there are scientific facts that they get the most restful sleep later in the morning. So that's why they sleep in, you know?
Well, even at like our youngest son's school, they used to start school at 7:30 in the morning. And then last year they switched high school to start at 8:30. And that hour is such a big difference in teens. So if anything, start the grade schools out earlier. Like, you're 5 years old, you're up ready to go at 6 a.m. You're at mom's door.
Those kids are ready to roll.
Let's flip that idea. Let's have the grade schools start a little earlier. They don't need as much sleep as the teenagers do. And so far, it must be going good because they continue that idea on through this year to start them later. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Other than it being extremely hot and swanky, sweaty.
Swanky?
Ooh. Swanky sweat. Didn't you recently, you let me know, but maybe our besties would find this interesting. You redid one of your rooms for your princess, Kiki.
You're going to make me sound crazy in front of our besties,
No.
aren't you, Mindy?
You are not a 30-year-old cat lady. It's fine.
No, I'm a 40-plus-year-old cat lady.
Childless. No, it's all good. It's all good. I love you.
Childless cat lady here. Newsflash. No, I did, but it was such a joy because she is older, and I recently, well, not recently, they're 5, but she's 14.
She's had some struggles with her
Does
brothers
not want
being
anything to do with these 5-year-old boys from day one.
Mm-hmm.
And she was always my cuddler. Like, when I had my 2 older boy cats, I loved them to death, but they weren't lap cats. They weren't cuddlers. And Kiki was always my cuddler. So I decided, since I have 2 bedrooms
and one you
and one me, that I would make a girls-only zone for me and my oldest
I just love
Kiki,
this so much.
so she wouldn't have to deal with her stupid brothers. And I get it.
Man.
I get it 100%. So I got a cheap mattress. It's not the best, but I got the cutest bedding, and I put it on there, and she has her own food bowl, her own litter box, and
She pretty much has a princess room all to herself.
she has a
It's
whole new
pink.
cat tower that looks like she's sleeping in a cloud. She's so
Perfect.
cute. And then
Is she like taking to it well? Do you see a change in her having her own space?
well, yes, but it's almost kind of bad because she wants it all the time, which I get
Yes.
because
Sure.
she used to be the cat that slept with me, but now she won't because of my asshole cat Haddonfield. She's very nervous, and he wants to sleep with me all the time. So I will shut the door. It'll be just the girls, me and Kiki, and you'll never hear purring so loud in your life.
Oh
She
my God.
is just
My heart.
so goddamn happy, and it makes my heart so happy that I can give this to her. But I don't know what else to do to alleviate her stress from her stupid
I think you're
younger
doing
brothers.
great. But no, I think it's just like real life. It's just like human children.
It is.
You have to recognize their needs separately from each other.
Yeah, she needs.
It's not every kid needs the same thing. Every kid is unique, and each of them needs their own kind of love and their own way of showing love and their own way of being connected. And that I love that you did that for her.
And I will tell you, the transformation of my second room, including the bedding, the food bowls, the litter, everything cost maybe $60. And then the most expensive part was getting the mattress, which was just a cheapo mattress, but it works. And I don't even have a bed frame in that room, but it's just a mattress on the floor. But
she can have it.
That doesn't matter to her. She is
your sleepover zone.
So happy
Girls,
we can have our
are you
girls'
gonna put,
night.
Can you put a sign on the door that says no boys allowed, but make the Z backwards?
My brother is already working on that, and he thinks it's the best. And I don't know what it's going to come out to, but it's going to be super cute. And everyone thinks this is a fun idea for her because I'm sorry, if I'm 14 as a cat, okay?
Yeah.
I don't want these youngsters
in my
trying
space.
To jump into my cabinets and play with me. No. She's not interested at all. She wants to cuddle with mama and sleep the rest of the day.
Oh.
And that's what I'm going to give her.
And we're going to put some photos up on our
yes,
Facebook.
I'll take some photos.
Okay.
It's the cutest thing ever.
Photos.
Oh, and shout out to Walmart because I got the cutest bedding, which included the sheets, the pillowcases, the comforter for like $20. And it couldn't be more perfect for her. It's very girly. It's got pink bows on it. Oh, it's such a girl's room. I love it. I love it.
Nothing like a Barbie pink room. Like just...
If I could paint my walls, I mean, I guess I could, but then I'd have to repaint them when I leave.
Yeah.
I would make that an all pink room because she is a girly girl if I ever met one, and I love her to pieces.
Speaking of changing rooms, it took a whole, well, actually not even a whole week. It was before her sisters even left. The youngest said, "Can we disassemble Ava's bed and get out of the room now?"
Oh, she was ready to make that room her own.
She's shared a room for quite a long time. And I think she is like, I'm redoing my room. I want her bed out of there. I want more space. And so now I have to switch, the oldest twins' room to like a double guest room because, they're only coming back for, a few weeks or a few months at a time.
At a time, yeah.
I'm like, because I can't justify keeping her room a half a room when they're not here. So
no, exactly. You should.
They will have a space.
She has
house.
earned the right as the youngest to have earned her own space.
She has a Pinterest board. She is ready. She asked me if we can disassemble the bed tonight. So I think that's what I'm going to be doing for the next few hours.
Mindy, you've been assembling beds. Now you're disassembling beds.
Never
My God, you're a busy little girl over there, aren't you?
Always. All right, Bestie, that wraps up an episode. Unless there's anything else, Brooke, besides your lovely pink girl room. Am I just disassembling beds?
No, nothing more exciting than that. All right, Bestie. Until next week, I want to make sure you order the lunch and the dinner shrimp platter.
Yes, you should. You deserve it.
You deserve it. And
sweet
dreams,
bitches.
This might be a world record for us, Mindy. 146?
Not bad.